Welcome to Unleashed. Hello, everyone. I'm James Rosile, joined with Andrew Fantasia and Rob McDonald, and I'm going to say their names today because I don't trust their voices.
It sounds hot coming out of his mouth, though. I'm not going to lie.
These are the only words I'm going to speak for the rest of this. Now I'm just going to watch you guys.
We didn't give Rob a microphone because I trust him the least out of everyone. Today, though, we got... Okay, so this is a great show because Vanity Fair released a bunch of images a week ago, and we looked at these images, and the cool thing with these images was everything about them, and they were Star Wars related. Mm-hmm. But Rey, Daisy Ridley, the pictures of her, every single one she's in, which is 2, she has her staff with her.
Yeah.
Her staff, which she can be seen in The Force Awakens using, and everyone speculated, oh no, that's Plagueis' staff, or that staff is actually a secret lightsaber, or something. Turns out none of that happened in The Force Awakens. In fact, her staff was just her staff. As Daisy Ridley said in press leading up to The Force Awakens, that her staff was her staff. Rob, since you don't have a microphone, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you come in a little closer, buddy? Talk to me about her staff and the importance of it. Let's start with that.
Well, I think number one, okay, I'm going to hold it up here. How about I do that? So number one, I think in terms of the staff, I think it was number one important just for Force Awakens because it was like there were so many new characters in that movie, and the way we first got introduced to them was through the marketing, and she was always marketed with that staff. Mm-hmm. That staff was iconic with her, and I think it's smart, number one, that they're bringing it back for this movie, because a lot of people think about her in that way with the staff. So in terms of what this staff is going to represent, I know a lot of people want it to be the double-sided lightsaber, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I think it more will just be like we see like in Empire Strikes Back, Luke has his lightsaber, but he also has a blaster. So I more think that this will be just her secondary weapon that she also uses along with the lightsaber.
Andrew, turns out that Anakin's lightsaber, which was Luke's lightsaber, which was then Anakin's lightsaber, is now Rey's lightsaber, according to Lucasfilm. Pablo Hidalgo came out, and he said that Lucasfilm Marketing has decided to rebrand it Rey's lightsaber. Is that actually going to be her lightsaber? And is she still going to be using her whatever the hell it's called, her staff?
Yeah, that question just inceptioned to my brain a little bit. So
you're welcome.
Yeah, she'll use the lightsaber, but the staff has become such a key part of her. Like Rob said, the marketing, the way Star Wars works is because we're so used to the toys being a big part of Star Wars. When we see a character and they're accessorized with something, that immediately becomes part of the mental silhouette we give to that person. So if you think of just Rey's silhouette, you think of a girl holding a staff like that has become part of her. So I don't think they're going to lose the staff anytime soon.
Wait, can I interject for a second? Side Akbar this. Finn silhouette. What's Finn's silhouette?
The jacket and the gun.
I would say the jacket and the gun too. I mean,
not the lightsaber.
Not the lightsaber.
We had this false lightsaber part of it, like for the build-up of it, but it was like even like in like the that Monopoly game that everybody seemed to hate where he wasn't in it. He was there with the blaster and not the right.
We're not going to get into that. But when I first got that Monopoly game, and I've said this before, I always thought it was because they were hiding Rey and they didn't want us to see who Rey actually was. But that being said, you could have put Rey with her staff in there. So why is it not Rey with her staff? We won't get into that though because that is not the point of this. We are talking about the staff actually. Mm-hmm. Do you remember your thought here?
Yeah. So it's become such a part of what we picture when we picture Rey, and I guarantee after Last Jedi, people's mental silhouette of Phasma is going to be with the spear, because that's how our brains work when it comes to these kinds of movies. So she'll have her lightsaber, but if they're going to go the route I think they're going to go with this movie, they're going to play the Jedi stuff close to the vest as much as they can. So I think that Rey actually using it in combat is going to be withheld a little bit, and at first she'll use the staff because she's more comfortable with it, and then the lightsaber is going to start coming out more and more.
Okay, I can see that. Okay, speaking of the lightsaber, going into this lightsaber now, it is Rey's lightsaber. Anakin's lightsaber is Rey's lightsaber, and I'm completely fine with this because it is Anakin's lightsaber, then Luke has a lightsaber, and now Rey has a lightsaber, and so now it is Rey's lightsaber.
Yeah.
From Anakin. It's Rey's. Market it as Rey's. We all know the story of it, so it really shouldn't have any bearing on anything. So that's why I'm completely fine with it. But that being said, Finn held that lightsaber through all of the marketing for The Force Awakens. Every shot was Finn with his lightsaber, and there were some really, really cool ones. Mm-hmm. And then we were, at first we're like, oh, The Force Awakens, all these people have force sensitivity. They're waking up from this slumber for some whatever reason. And that didn't turn out to be it. And then it turns out that Finn isn't even force sensitive. Some people believe that he is, some people don't. But in this Vanity Fair article,
who believes that he is?
in this Vanity Fair article, John Boyega said that he's not. Basically came out and said it. So he is not. I don't think he needs to be. Han Solo wasn't. I'm totally fine with
14 midi-chlorians. Sorry, guys.
That's not bad, actually. I have less.
You have less? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll get you a card. There's a card for that now at Hallmark.
This should be, actually. And midi-chlorians don't matter either. Because they'd be in you regardless whether I name or not.
The card has your blood type on it and your midichlorian.
And the midichlorian count. So, Rey's lightsaber. We've seen all these pictures of her with this lightsaber now. We have heard rumors in the past that Luke will rip it apart with the Force and tear it apart and reveal the crystal inside and whatnot. Andrew, is this lightsaber going to be Rey's through the entire next 2 films of the rest of the trilogy? Or is this her first lightsaber before she gets her own lightsaber?
Oh man, that's a good question.
Thank you. I spent all night writing it. I was like, I need one question for Andrew.
Yeah, I can see her. I can see her hanging on to it. I like the idea of it swapping hands a lot. Maybe it gets lost in a shuffle. Again, I'm going to bring up Pirates of the Caribbean because I love doing that here.
Have you seen the 5th one?
Not yet.
You are a false fan.
But the sword that Will Turner makes at the beginning of the first movie, throughout the first trilogy, that sword keeps changing hands over and over, and people keep picking it up and like, wow, this is a nice sword, and using it. So I feel like Anakin's saber has kind of gone through a similar journey. So I would be kind of tickled if, Rey loses it in a fight at the end of 8 and then makes her own for 9, but somebody picked it up in the beginning of 9 and was like, hey, this is Rey's saber. Maybe, I don't know, like Phasma picked it up and she's like, wow, this is pretty neat. I'm going to learn how to use this now. And, it just, I'd have fun with that.
Rob, it's Rey's lightsaber, as far as we know. But we also know that a Kyber crystal belongs to each individual Jedi, correct? Could the calling to Rey be not the lightsaber, but the crystal within it, and she shares a crystal with Anakin? Is that a possibility?
I personally don't see it. I kind of see this Anakin lightsaber becoming this multi-generational thing that's gonna like come across a whole bunch of different people, because it was like, even like if you would have looked up like marketing in terms of stuff for the lightsaber in like A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, that was labeled Luke's lightsaber, right? Even though he got it from his father, and obviously in the prequels it was labeled as Anakin's lightsaber, at least I guess in the 3rd one, because that's the first time he got that one, because he destroyed his one in the 2nd one, but regardless. And then now it's labeled as Rey's lightsaber. So I kind of see it as, maybe she'll have it for this entire 8th movie, and then she's going to create her own in terms of a Luke type of way. I think that whatever it is, she's going to get her own. That it's not going to be a case of this is going to be her lightsaber. I picture this as literally just being this lightsaber that will even transcend episode 9, that we'll see it in episode 10, and probably somebody else will have.
So you're going, they're doing it in episode 10.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to say they're going to do episode 10. I don't know when it's going to be, but I can't see Disney just being like, okay, no, just 9, and then there's not going to be any more. There will be an episode 10.
Jedi tell no tales.
Yes, exactly. And we'll star Javier Bardem. Enjoy it.
I am not into this conversation anymore. Andrew, is her new light? She's gonna get a new lightsaber. I think we, as much as they can market it as Anakin's lightsaber, and as cool as it is that we all see this lightsaber and we all recognize it and we're like, yay, it's suddenly very, very blue. She's gonna get her own lightsaber.
I would imagine so, and I'm in the camp where, I think it'd be pretty bitchin' to see a double-bladed blue lightsaber. That'd be awesome.
What about a double-bladed, because we have not seen this yet, a double-bladed yellow lightsaber?
Like Bastila?
Yeah.
I'd be down. yeah, they don't really need to go into any explanation about why all of a sudden there's yellow. I mean, when Jedi came out, we got a green one without explanation.
Hey, did you hear Pablo Hidalgo's explanation? Which is the one that we all knew from the beginning, but for some reason nobody listens to DVD commentaries. How it's green because there was too much blue, and they couldn't make it a blue lightsaber, so they had to make it green.
Right.
And everyone's like, and he's like, sorry to ruin your dreams, but that's just how it works.
Because there was too much blue?
Yeah, the sky was too blue, so they couldn't put blue in it, so they had to make it green to stand out. I thought you had the VHS. Andrew, listen to Leonard Maltin. He said, this is old news, and Mace Windu, Samuel L. Jackson just wanted a purple lightsaber, and George Lucas was afraid of him, and he said, sure, go ahead, have a purple lightsaber. Mace Windu is alive.
Somewhere.
I'm excited for his comment. Anyway, Rob, yellow double-bladed lightsaber.
Yeah, and I'd even like it if it was a remnant of the no longer canon Plo Koon lightsaber from episode 1 that they said was yellow once, but then they said no, that it wasn't yellow. Yeah, I mean,
Sorry, how easy was that job for that person? It's just like the Jedi Council sit there's no blades actually coming out, so one guy's like, yeah, that one's yellow, why not?
It was like one random person says that it's yellow, and then it was like in a game or two or something like that is yellow.
That's how
like,
genius Star Wars is, though. It's like none of the characters in the background have names, and they're like, we're gonna make a toy of every single one of them, and they all have names. And then Del Rey's like, we're making a book, and all those characters that don't have names that have names are gonna have backstories.
Can we do just an entire book about yellow lightsabers?
We could. Do you guys know the history of the yellow lightsaber?
The kingdom of the
No,
Kyber
I'm not
skull.
familiar.
Neither do I. There's a history of the yellow lightsaber.
To yellow? Well, all I know is like Basilar was the first one I knew who like carried one, and then so I figured it's just another Kyber, not as popular as blue and green. I don't know. I thought she was just a rebel because she's cool.
Yeah, I'd like to see them do something because we have the blue, and look, I'm completely fine with them keeping her with Anakin's lightsaber. Not to say that I'm not. Like, if that's what she uses through all of it, I'm completely fine with that. But I feel like they're going to expand because, first of all, you want to sell the toys. Secondly, you want Rey to kind of be her own character and be, this strong lead. And to do that, maybe she has her own lightsaber. And we don't know what's up with Luke's green lightsaber either. He definitely does not have Vader's red one because Pablo Hidalgo said that thing went down the second Death Star and blew up, and that's the end of that. Which is dumb because why? How does Anakin's blue lightsaber survive everything? And whatever, we won't get into that though. You guys, they're a story group. They just don't want to tell a story of Vader. I think it would be cool if Luke had a white lightsaber and it was Vader's.
So that comment by Hidalgo, then that's official confirmation that the arms dealers from Aftermath who were selling that red lightsaber were lying.
I guess, yeah, it's so conflicting. I can't figure out. But he said that, and he goes, don't think too much about it.
Right.
So unless someone digs it up and proves me wrong. But I'm confident that's what I read, and that's, Hidalgo, though, I will say this. I've tweeted at him. He tweets back. Like, if you tweet at Hidalgo, he'll tweet right back. And me and Josh from Dead and Nerds, we tweeted at him a couple times. And he says things and then backpedals a lot. Because, the thing is, and I don't think he's lying either way. I don't think he says something to mislead you. I think the Star Wars universe, the way they have themselves set right now with canon, is a mess because the Clone Wars TV show does so much, but like the movies are doing this, and the movies are separate from the Clone Wars TV show. Like they're not going to ever like be like this. You know what I mean? Like there might be small things here and there, but they're not going to be. So things happen in the Clone Wars TV show. And we're like, oh, so is that a confirmation? What? Like, that's how it is, because it is and it isn't at the same time. And the novels, I said, how are the prequel novels not canon? And he goes, because they were written before 2012. But the Clone Wars TV show was made before, and the movies were made before 2012. And apparently, the prequel books and the original trilogy books, the only pieces of that are canon are the things that are in the films. So thoughts and extra dialogue are not canon, apparently. So Anakin never said, I'm going to marry you one day to Padme for the Phantom Menace. That's disappointing.
The world is a poor place for that.
But so anyway, so that was a huge side Akbar. But canon, I hate canon. I mean, I love it, but I hate it because it's such a mess where they're like, you're never going to see Vader's lightsaber again, I guess, but then it's in Aftermath. But so what is it?
It was the guys in Aftermath were shady about it. They said like, was that really Vader's lightsaber? And the guy's like, I don't know, it's red. Who cares?
But why bring it up though? You know what I mean? Like,
it was in that like side chapter, so I guess it was just a little way of showing us, there are these relic hunters, these acolytes, and that led into what became the acolytes of Beyond. And,
which are they the Knights of Ren? This is another story, topic altogether, because we talked about this. The Aftermath trilogy, as good as it ended up being, the novels are handcuffed by this stupid canon thing, where they can't tell you things because you got to find out, but then just wait to write the story.
Exactly.
Or you know what? In like 2 years, I would love Chuck Wendig to just be like, here's 2 chapters that I added to each book with stuff I was allowed to put in it. And you're like, oh my goodness, these are cool answers. Also, Gallius Rax is not Snoke because Snoke is not human. We're good on that point? That's another thing Hidalgo said. Rax is not human. Double-bladed lightsaber. Yes or no, Andrew?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes, absolutely. But I wanted to touch on real quick because it's funny.
We're not done.
Another side, Akbar, back to Hidalgo. I have a discussion for you guys. Do you guys think that he has or will at some point give us an answer that will be misleading and it's not really the case? As in, like, J.J. Abrams, Benedict Cumberbatch is not Khan or something like that.
Nothing.
Right?
And Andrew,
because he seems to answer so many questions and give you so many answers, start limiting and eliminating theories, that it just seems like he's limiting that stuff. Like, I'm wondering if at all anything he has said so far is not true.
Not true?
Yeah, like not true or will be not true. As in, like, he says Snoke's not a human, but he actually is a human.
Can I just this is what I think happened. I think The Force Awakens was so secretive that people walked into that and everyone enjoyed it. But the problem is it left so many questions. So now we all have questions, and so we do these podcasts and we talk in the comments and we have all these conversations about, oh my God, Snoke is this, Snoke is that, Rey is this, Rey is that. And Lucasfilm, I think, as a whole, and and Pablo Hidalgo is the face for this, I think. And they're saying, look, at some point people are going to be disappointed now because Snoke is not going to be this, Rey is not going to be this. So we need to just vanquish those thoughts. We need to let people know this is not happening. Get off of this train of thought. And I think that's all Pablo Hidalgo is doing. He's not going to mislead us, but he's going to say, this is not happening. And then he'll give you a little piece of information on something. And we'll be like, I don't know. That could still lead you to 5 other things, but it's the 5 things they want you to key in on, where they don't want you to key in on Snoke is Plagueis, for example. Because I think he came out and said flat out that Snoke is not Plagueis. I think he did. I could be wrong, but let's just go with this for the sake of argument. You know what I mean? So if 100,000 people are saying Snoke is Plagueis and he's definitely not, they're going to be like, look, that's a lot of people. Yeah, they're going to be pissed.
Let's not disappoint them.
Pablo, you go out there and just be like, Snoke is not. And he goes, guys, Snoke is not Plagueis and he's not human.
Yeah.
But just saying he's not human, all of a sudden we can still speculate.
Exactly.
So anyway, Andrew, your thoughts on that?
I think they've lied before, but I hope it's a case where they're trying to protect us from our own curiosity. Like, what I hope was a lie, as just for one specific example, was when Kathleen Kennedy said a little while back, she's like, yeah, we don't really have anything planned beyond 9. We're ending it at 9, but maybe we'll do 10. We'll see how it goes. I hope that if there is a lie that we've been told, it's that, and they either yes, 9 is the end, and they're planning some grand sweeping finale of the Skywalker story, which would be cool, or no, 9 is not the end, and 9 is going to end with like a big shocking thing, and then 10 is going to come out, and 11 and 12. Either way, you don't want to spoil that. So just shrug and be like, maybe. We haven't really thought about it yet. We're taking it one step at a time. Just so that we can still ruminate on it without, spoiling that.
I think it's going to end at 9. I think they're going to come back. But it's going to end at 9, then we're going to get something different.
Yeah. I'm sure that will happen. But it's just like with Pablo Hidalgo, like, even saying stuff like, in Rogue One, there was the random intercom message where it's like General Syndulla to the Bay or something like that, wherever they said. And he revealed that it wasn't Cham, that it is...
it's Hera.
It's Hera, right? So, for example, like, just him saying that, let's say there's a moment in the next season of Rebels where it's like, looks like she might die or something like that. We know that's not going to happen now because of the answer that he gave us, right?
Yeah, but I've also heard that Rogue One is like the midway point of Rebels.
Oh, cool.
This season.
Oh,
it's not going to end with
well,
Rogue
if that's
One.
the case, that's
so,
different. But
but I mean, is Rebels?
Like, I'm wondering if just something that you said is just misleading.
Look, Rebels they have to figure out Kanan and Ezra. But Rebels it's a kids show. It's still a kids show, and just killing off every single one of your characters seems very dark for a Disney XD show. You could get rid. You have to do something with Kanan and Ezra. You have to. Ezra's not Snoke because Snoke isn't human. He still could be Benicio del Toro, but del Toro doesn't have a scar on his cheek, so he's not Ezra.
So how about that Rey's staff, everybody?
Yeah, we got to get back to this. This is a huge side act bar.
Yeah.
Is Rey's staff going to make it? Could it still be Plagueis' staff? Does that even make sense? Plagueis was mentioned briefly in Revenge of the Sith. No one really cared, and only the fanboys and us care about about Plagueis' staff. Does it make sense it could still be Plagueis' staff? Rob?
Andrew Mullen. Look at him.
I think it's one of the random Imperial Guard staff from Return of the Jedi that was just there. No, I don't know. It could be, but another reason would be where would Rey get this staff from if it was Plagueis' staff, and
because it's on Jakku. She would have gotten it on Jakku, and Jakku is such a.
Keep going. I'll be right back. Keep going.
Andrew's got to pee. Jakku is such a intriguing planet for dark side, for the Force as a whole. Mm-hmm. And look, I don't think it's Plagueis' staff. I don't, but she got that staff on Jakku. There's something to that staff that it's always by her side. And Andrew's coming back with his Black Series figure. He's got his toy.
There it is.
Okay, show it.
No, keep going. It's okay. I'm just going to use her as an example.
Well, I'm just saying her staff is from Jakku, and Jakku is in the dark side. So, Andrew, do you think there could be some Force sensitivity to that staff, like something to do with the Force and that staff? Are they connected in some way?
I think at this point, I'm about 90% sure that the staff is not anything special or crazy or from her past. Because take a look at this toy. Okay.
Hold it closer.
Yeah, sorry. Here's Rey. Here's Rey's staff. She's holding it. Okay. Look how big this staff is. I don't think a 4-year-old girl would carry this with her when she gets marooned on a planet. This is not a tool for a 4-year-old girl. This is a tool for how old is she supposed to be? 19? 19-year-old girl to use. This is something that she cobbled together or found that suited her as an adult to defend herself. This is not something that I think she brought with her as a child, because that's not...
I like that thought. Yeah. That she put it together. If she puts it together, she could take it apart and put in
a
double-sided lightsaber.
Or a single-sided lightsaber. We don't have to go double route.
That's a long single-sided lightsaber, though.
Well, no, she takes it apart.
And just takes a certain part.
The top of it looks like a handle, right? The tops of it look like handles, so you could do anything. I think it would be really cool to see another... I can't stand it up. Like another double-sided lightsaber in the series. I think a yellow lightsaber would be super cool to see. Something a little bit different. But how different do you want to go? I would really like to see the purple blade come back.
Oh, hell yes.
And that, for me, for the way they're going with the Jedi, with this gray thing and this route that they're going, the purple seems like it makes so much sense. And the way she has so much anger in her in The Force Awakens. The first time I ever saw that full trailer, or was it the international trailer, where she's shooting the gun, I think I text Brock. I'm like, she is so angry.
When Daisy Ridley grits her teeth, I run away from the screen. I'm like, okay, please don't hurt me. She can be scary when she's mad.
And she, honestly, those Vanity Fair pictures, she looks ripped.
Yeah,
ripped.
She does.
That one where she's doing Tai Chi.
Yeah.
She looks like she's gonna kill somebody. She looks like
she's toned, like she's muscle.
Yeah. So, I think purple though, man. Purple. Rob, purple.
Purple would be interesting. Yeah, I mean, just to mix it up in some type of way, bring something like that back. Or, maybe she'll get, what's her name, Ahsoka's lightsabers, and she'll just have pale white.
Ahsoka's is because it...
Yeah, I know.
And that's why I think the Vader one would be so cool for Luke to have. If he cleansed it and it went white and he had Vader's white lightsaber.
I just really don't want that part to be canon, because I kind of find that...
It already is.
I know, but I kind of just don't want it to be... The bleeding. Yeah, I don't want the whole reason behind the pale lightsabers thing to be canon.
But pale lightsaber, though, it's stupid, but it's canon, but it's in the Ahsoka novel. It just seemed maybe that might be just a throwaway. I'm really hoping it's just a throwaway and has nothing to do with anything.
Now that you bring up purple, I can't stop seeing it, especially because of how... just the shots of Ahch-To I think I'm saying that right. I still don't know. I'm gonna call it Acto. I don't care.
Do you think we're gonna hear Acto, like the name of the island mentioned?
Yeah, I think Hux
so,
is
too.
gonna say it. He's gonna be like, "We found this place called."
Oh, great! We're not gonna understand
That'll
him.
be like a whole comedy sequence where he says, "I found this planet called Aksha," and then like Kylo Ren will walk in and be like, "I think it's pronounced Achto."
It's gonna be a Spaceballs scene.
Yeah. And Phasma's like, no. The C and the H and the hyphen are all silent, and they have this big argument.
The planet's actually named Keith.
But when I see that all the pictures and footage we've seen of Acto in Episode 8 and how gloomy it is, a purple blade against that gloom would look gorgeous. So now I'm seeing that in my head. Or even, you know what? Maybe Benicio has a purple one.
We're not going to get into that. You can watch next week. Maybe we'll get into that. This week we will not get into that. We're talking about Rey's staff. Rob, purple?
Purple, yeah. Purple's fine.
Great answer.
Let's go for it. Yeah, again, it's a cool visual. Like, it really makes Mace Windu stand out, and it'll be a good way to possibly make Rey stand out.
Is it too
even
similar
more.
to Laura Dern's hair?
Are Laura
She's
Dern and Rey
hiding
going to be in the same
lightsaber
room?
in her hair.
Oh, there you go.
I would no, like I'm saying, because of obviously the lightsaber was because Samuel L. Jackson asked for a purple lightsaber, but now, and I think it's still canon, how it's because Mace Windu dabbled in the dark arts of the Jedi and stuff like that, and he kind of used the dark side a little bit. And he was one of the only Jedi that can actually do that, and that's why he had a purple blade. Still makes no sense with the bleeding, but that's why he had a purple blade, right? Look, Jedi must end. We all think that they're going in this direction where the Jedi Order was incorrect, and Luke is trying to right that ship. And if Rey is gonna learn anything about the Force, she's gonna learn how to balance the dark and the light. And I think a purple lightsaber makes so much sense for that. And I think Rian Johnson, of all the people that they've hired on to do this, is the one that would actually be like, yeah, purple.
Mm-hmm. That thing you just said about Mace and like it's purple because he's dabbled in the dark. Is that from Legends books or something?
I don't know.
Because
it's something.
I don't remember.
This is the problem with canon. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm imagining it must have been a Clone Wars thing. I don't remember what episode or if it was even the new Clone Wars or the old like 2D Clone Wars, but I have a distinct memory of a visual of a bunch of Kyber crystals, and like just a whole like crap ton of them, and you can see like there's a lot of ones that are like at the very tips they're glowing blue, and other ones at the very tips are glowing green, and then there's a very small chunk that's just like a little vein of purple, and that's it. So I just remember seeing that. I don't know if anybody out there remembers and knows what I'm talking about, or if I'm crazy, but
you are crazy. No one's gonna argue that.
So I always just imagined they were a rare breed of crystal. That's all, and Mace is just a boss, so he got his hands on one.
Samuel Jackson just wanted a purple lightsaber.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys want to comment below on that one. Rob, do you have any insight into this?
Into Mace Windu's purple lightsaber? Yeah. I figured this Tarantino maybe talked him into it at some point. He was just like,
Mr.
Hey.
Purple.
Yeah, Mr. Purple.
Rob, do you think we'll see Mace find that purple Kyber crystal in the Hitman's Bodyguard?
Oh, that'd be amazing. Him and Ryan Reynolds just find it magically, like, in the back of the trunk or something. That's like, oh my God. Yeah. It's in the same suitcase as the Marcellus Wallace's gold.
I don't know what's happening here. This is derailing. Double-sided purple lightsaber, Andrew, yes or no?
Oh, hell yeah. That's twice the purple.
But is it going to happen?
Oh, not in this trilogy.
In the trilogy?
Old Republic, yes.
Okay.
Old Republic, we're going to see every friggin'
Are we going to get Old Republic, you think?
Eventually. Eventually. They're building up to it.
Yeah, if we're actually talking about whether we're going to see it or not, I don't think so. I think it'll be, honestly, be either blue or it'll be green. Her lightsaber.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting... I really want that yellow double-bladed one because we've never seen that really. I don't think we're going to get it, though. I have this feeling that the blue is going to be hers till the end. I don't know, because in a movie, we've never seen a character build a lightsaber. In the deleted scene, Luke kind of, sort of does a little bit.
Oh,
no! Ray fell, and then
she's really upset that you said that.
Recording. But in the original trilogy, there's a deleted scene from the Return of the Jedi. where you see Luke kind of do whatever with his lightsaber and kind of builds it. But we've never seen that in a film. It's never even been explained in a film until Rogue One, and that's the only reason why it leads me to believe that rumor we heard about Luke pulling apart the lightsaber might be accurate, and that we might see a crystal in The Last Jedi because it was teased to us in Rogue One. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to a friend a couple of weeks ago about Rogue One, and he was, well, that didn't have he said the crystal didn't have a pay. Go back to Jakku.
Let's let her sleep. She's tired.
Are you okay?
She's had a rough day.
Well, look at her. She's using the force. Is she choking someone?
She's
force choking.
She's like,
no, she's
force.
Like,
let's go explore a Star.
Bring it.
Don't choke on your aspirations. Anyway, I was talking to a friend, and he said that the Kyber crystal, didn't pay off in Rogue One. And I said, I don't think it was meant to pay off in Rogue One. I think it's meant to pay off in The Last Jedi. And I think we got that in The Last Jedi, and we got the Guardians of the Whills because Luke has that Whills book in The Last Jedi. Mm-hmm. And I think they're going to use, and I think that's so smart, using these spin-off films to grow the lore.
Yeah, they're setting the stage. Now everybody, for the most part, knows that a Kyber crystal is the thing.
Yeah, and if you don't, guess what? Go watch Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to add, Rob?
Oh, no. Not so much. My only thing when we just brought up that Death Star thing again made me think is the Starkiller Base run by Kyber as well.
Well, Starkiller Base was huge on Kyber crystals, I believe. They
no, wait. We got the answer in the movie. It's from the sunlight of the stars. It got pulled from the sunlight of the stars. I just realized
Starkiller Base. Starkiller Base, weak part of the movie. Weak. You know what? It's not even a weak part of the movie. It should not have been destroyed. Because that is way too... They destroyed a planet. That's like a problem. That galaxy sucks. Like... Well, you know how, like, the Death Star seems weak now because I'm like, well, you know how easy it is to blow up a planet? You just go into the core and you throw a couple bombs. Get Chewie's thumbs and go, pow! The Starkiller Base was one of the weak moments. I was really looking forward to it. And then it was the Death Star, but bigger, but blew up just as simple. Even easier to blow up because it didn't need a Jedi to shoot at it.
I think it took fewer X-Wings to blow this one up too than the first one.
Well, they needed
the second one.
They needed to end the movie in a decent amount of time. Yeah. I think it would have been cool if it didn't get blown up. If it was just like went dark and like went like sideways, it just goes limp and falls down. So Rey's staff. I like the idea that she built this staff. Like, it's pieces that she put together, and then I like the idea even more that she can put a crystal in there.
And how great would it be if, like, Episode 8 comes out, and it turns out she's got a crystal in there, and then Rian Johnson is like, anybody who bought a Rey toy, go back, break the staff in half. We hid crystals inside as a spoiler.
That wouldn't happen because J.J. Abrams didn't plan that out.
I just kind of think... I just kind of like the idea about her having both the lightsaber and the staff, though, when she's fighting in a scene. Just nice. To think that, you know, she's fighting a whole bunch of... Yeah, like she's in a fight scene where she's fighting stormtroopers with that first, and like one of the riot troopers comes out and she busts out the lightsaber then instead, and, you know, she's just using them both for a single fight scene.
Did she ever hit a stormtrooper with it in the movie? At all?
No, I guess not. I mean, she hit those Unkar Plutt guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
And
I don't think
she pwned Finn with it.
Yeah, the only other stormtroopers she had when she was being captured was she shot those guys.
Right. Yeah.
This is the thing. She doesn't really. There's not much to this thing. And she always has it. So like now it's in the Vanity Fair page. Like they made it a point in that one where she's trained to have it on the rocks behind her. Mm. Like that, they made it a point to be in that shot. They could easily have not had that in the shot, and we wouldn't have thought anything of it. In fact, when I did the video with Josh on the Den of Nerds channel, we were Skyping, and his Skype video was covering that part of my picture, and I had never seen it before. And he goes, and look at her staff there. And I said, I had to move. I was like, oh, look at the staff. That happened on 2 pictures. The Skype video was blocking stuff on the 2 of the pictures, and he commented on it. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh my God!
Sounds like Skype is really, really working.
I don't know if anyone knows this about me, but my phone doesn't work, and I have no internet on my computer. So I'm like living in like 1995 right now.
And also just in Force Awakens altogether, I'm trying to think of what the last moment we would have seen the staff was. I don't think she ever had it when she was on Starkiller Base, right?
She has it when she goes to Acto.
She does have it when she's
using it as like a hiking stick.
So I wonder if she like left it in like Maz Kanata's tavern and like
I think you're
Han Solo grabbed it or something.
I think you're right. Yeah, they just kind of had it on the phone.
It's one of those other things that we have to assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she doesn't have it when she gets kidnapped.
No,
She just has the blaster, I'm pretty sure.
Does she leave it on the Falcon, maybe?
she must, because when she's on Starkiller and she's climbing that wall, she doesn't have it with her. Otherwise, that would have been very hard to climb with this 20-pound.
No, she did that in
because it might
Star
have been-
Destroyers on Jakku.
That's true.
She might have just left it, in the Millennium Falcon, because that's when Han Solo gives her the blaster, and she just hang on to this in the bar instead, maybe, as opposed to the
It could very well
staff.
end up being a special thing. It's just I'm going to bring up something that I've never brought up on the show before, which is Pirates of the Caribbean. In the first movie, we see Jack Sparrow use his compass, but his compass never really becomes a focal point. It's just there. And then the second movie, what happened? The compass becomes central to the whole plot.
Oh, yeah.
So
Luke Skywalker has a compass in The Last Jedi.
does it point to whatever he wants most?
And if you guys don't care, the compass does become a big thing again in this new one.
In 5?
Yeah,
All
in
right.
5, yeah.
I have this feeling that Andrew's really onto something with comparing the Star Wars films now with the Pirates of the Caribbean, because there's a compass and there's a staff and there's a sword and there is skulls and Johnny
Water.
Depp and Davy Jones' locker.
You know,
Actually, doesn't Rey fight like a squid from the Goonies in Last Jedi? Isn't that a rumor going on?
Oh my
But
God,
she has to
really?
fight like a sea monster. I'm thinking it's a squid from Goonies because I love Goonies, and the squid they got deleted and then re-edited in. Yeah, apparently. So spoiler alert.
she'll fight the Pirates of the Caribbean Kraken.
It's
That's
a
what
Kraken.
happened.
Yeah. That's the one that eats Johnny Depp, right?
Yeah.
If
Right?
Davy Jones has a cameo in this movie, I'm going to be so happy. Do you fear death?
You know,
By the way, I watched the Phantom Menace the other day. The special effects in that, a lot of them hold up. I was dumbfounded a couple times because I'm oh, there's Jar Jar, and sometimes you're he doesn't look that good, and then all of a sudden I'm wow, that looks better than half the movies I saw last year.
Yeah.
It's incredible, some of those effects.
it's really weird because I watch it at home and it still looks great. But it was I went to my one friend's Mike's place and he has a different TV. It was a high frame rate TV, and we were watching. I think.
Oh, is it one of those ones that make everything look like a shot on a handy cam?
Sort of.
Oh,
yeah.
hold on,
It
let
was-
me puke.
It was and then we watched Attack of the Clones, and it looked so bad. It literally looked.
Well, that's because Attack of the Clones is
because
all
of that.
digital.
But
Those, I can't. TV people, listen to me. Sony, Samsung, Insignia, all you people, stop it. You're ruining movies. They look good for video games and sports, but movies are being ruined. That's my soapbox.
Yeah, and even Peter Jackson with his attempt for the 60 frames per second.
That's what new TVs are starting to look like, though. That's not how.
That's so much.
Yeah, but that's how new TVs look, and I can't stand it.
It looks like a BBC soap opera. That's
Yeah.
not good. That's not a good thing.
So I mean, the people in the UK watching.
Yeah, sorry.
It's different though because you're PAL and we're NTSC, and it's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
You can't do it both, but we're trying to do it both, and we can't. We just can't. By the way, Phantom Menace, fantastic film. There's a foreshadowing in there too that I think I nailed on muscle.
There's no pirates in that movie, James.
Actually, I would argue there are. Zabulba.
Conja Club could be pirates.
That's not in the Phantom Menace,
Okay.
but you keep. They might be in the Phantom Menace. Retcon.
Qui-Gon's kind of like a pirate. He wears a poncho a lot.
I have a question for you, Side Akbar, on this staff thing. But, okay, with this new canon going on, you brought up, I think on one of the podcasts or something earlier, wouldn't it be cool if we go back maybe in a book or something and we find out that Snoke was beside somebody at a given time? And in Aftermath, we find out that Gallius Rex was on the second Death Star moments before it blew up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everyone's well, this happened, and this person's not in that scene, so it's canon. But my argument is no, because now all you have to do is go back and retcon and be no, he was sitting on there. Do you think that's going to happen a lot going forward, guys?
I hope so. I know exactly what you're talking about, too. It was the Shadows of the Empire when I brought it up.
Because Zizor is Snoke.
Yeah, exactly. Snoke, and he's
Actually, the gold robe that he's wearing is starting to...
Yeah.
They're it's weirdly
it's that
magic.
Kingpin thing.
Close. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the first scene of Shadows is the Vader Emperor conversation from Empire, and then you see it from the Emperor's point of view, and he's like, okay, bye, Vader, and he hangs up, and Shizor is just across the room, just waiting to talk to him. So something like that, I would almost guarantee is going to happen, whether it's in 8, whether it's in 9, whether it's in a spin-off, but we're going to see a scene we've seen before with someone we haven't met yet, and it's going to change our perspective.
I could see that, something like that. I don't know if it's going to happen in like 8 or 9, maybe. I could see something like that maybe happening in like Han Solo at some point, where we just like get maybe like the movie will end with him and Mos Eisley, and it's like you're watching his perspective of Obi-Wan and Luke coming into the bar or something like that. Maybe them doing something like that. I could see. Like I don't know. It's hard for me to forecast if they're going to do something like that in 8 and 9, because I just don't know who some of these characters are. Like it'd be cool if it was just like, or even like if they did something like, hey, here's Snoke and there's Ben Mendelsohn just like in on Coruscant, and they just walk by each other or something.
I really want more Coruscant.
Oh yeah.
Like more it was cool in Rogue One. We saw it out the window. I was like, oh, tease. I want more. I want them to acknowledge the prequels more as well. I mean, I don't need them to go right into the prequels and be like, Gungans are everywhere. But like, yeah. Like the other issue too is when we looked at the Canto Bight pictures, there's no aliens we recognize anymore. Like this universe is so big that I just throw in 1 or 2 that we recognize.
Well, maybe you'll get your wish at the casino where like the Ewok and the Gungan will just be.
That's my dream. If nobody knows, my dream is that in Maz's tavern bar thing, I really wish that in the background there was a Gungan talking to an Ewok. That was like my ultimate. The camera doesn't have to focus on them; just kind of go by it, and when you pause it, you're like, there it is, right there. No, but if you look at those Canto Bight pictures, there's nothing we recognize.
And next to them, the third member of their party is one of the dreadlock guys from Battlefield Earth.
You went too far. Can Watto ever come back? Yep.
Toydarians, yes. Watto, no.
Shut up.
I think Watto went to that great big junk pile in the sky a long time
I think
ago.
Toydarians live forever.
Okay. I'd be down for that.
Eddie!
He'll be in the Obi-Wan movie with Owen.
Oh, now you
If
have to make it.
if they had the stones to put Watto in, oh man,
It's gonna be
he
Watto.
looks good still. Actually, most of what there's a couple that you're like, oh, I see the lines, but for the most, I honestly, the Phantom Menace, I cannot get over how good they are.
The stuff Sebulba is wearing, I'm just like, that's real leather. It has to be. How did they make that? It's still. You're right.
It was Warwick Davis actually wore it.
Change his face completely.
All right, let's wrap up the conversation on Rey's staff. Is she going to continue to use the staff? Will it be a double-bladed lightsaber, or is she going to ever get her own Kyber crystal, Andrew?
Her own crystal, not in this trilogy. Her own lightsaber, yes.
Rob?
I could see her getting her own crystal, honestly. Like, the fact that we're on this planet of Acto, again, I'm not sure if there would be, but it would kind of make sense. And maybe if there was some type of mine there and there was Kyber crystals inside there, and that in which she could find her own, that would kind of make sense. As opposed to the staff, the more I'm thinking about it now, imagine if, like, the pictures that we saw were just from the beginning of the movie, and literally when, like, she convinces Luke to train her, and if that happens, he's just like, okay, but you can't use this anymore. He just snaps it over his, like, throws it behind him, and that's it.
Oh my goodness! I'm the only one right now thinking that Luke is not going to have a problem training her. He's just not going to train her as a Jedi. That's what I think. Also, someone brought up when you guys did the vote of no confidence on whether or not Luke will train her as a Jedi. Someone said, "Why do we all assume she wants to be trained?"
Yeah, that person was absolutely right.
They were right, except for the fact that that's, I think, why she was the one that went to the island.
Yeah.
There's a reason she went to the island. We got to keep going. Is there a reason she went to the island? Are we going to find out the reason, or did she just go there because of plot?
Yeah, like it's a plot thing, but it's also just like look, I touched this, it's yours, and something weird happened to me. Explain.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's when she comes out on that rock. I think that's the aftermath of the explanation.
Yeah.
I could see them maybe flashing back to like a moment before they left for Acto, and like Leia just being like, you got to be the one or something like that to go find Luke. It's like you're kind of a chosen one aspect to it, as to you have to be the one. And I think that's probably what it's going to be. And maybe, I mean, it's a good question as to whether she even wants to be trained at all. Like, she obviously was chosen to go there, but it's like, if you're just thinking as to why did she go and not Leia or not, well, I guess there's a reason why R2 didn't do it. He'd have difficulty getting up those steps all the time, especially if his jetpack doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, he has
His
rocket launchers.
thrusters.
I'd love to see. I want more R2 in these movies. I'm glad that Rian Johnson said, get BB-8 out of there, put R2 in there. Because also BB-8 should be with Poe.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I think so. Anyway, guys, this has been Unleashed. I'm James. This is
Andrew.
Where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Facebook at Andrew Fantasia and on Twitter at Andrew Fantasia.
And if you tweet him, he will not tweet you back. Rob, where can everybody find you at? And what's your name?
My name is Rob McDonald. And you can find me at Robert E. McDonald on Instagram and Twitter. And yeah.
I'm James. Hit me up at Petsafina on everything, including PlayStation 4, where you can kick my butt at Battlefront and Disney Afternoon Adventures. And that is Ray saying, the Force will be with you.
Always.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.